Colleagues, welcome, thank you, fire away. Who's asking the question? Yes. Okay, so I came here this morning to basically read some books to the children. It's not something that I'm doing just because I'm campaigning. It's something that I do all the time. You can see I'm in my comfort zone here. I first came across Book on PNG in 2010 when I was reporting for a program called Pacific Pulse, and I was looking into the extremely worrying and low rates of literacy in Papua New Guinea. And in all of the stories that I like to do on Pacific Pulse, I like to look at a challenge and find someone that's doing something, or somebody or an organisation that's actually doing something to address these challenges. Because it's, it can get depressing just sitting there being told all the things that are wrong with you when there are actually many hardworking people in our communities all over the country who are doing a lot of great work to address those challenges and to do something about it. And in 2010 I came to this very library. It's the first Book on PNG library I ever came to. And then I went immediately from here. They've got one at Moresby General Hospital as well. And I immediately knew from that moment that this is an organisation that is going to stick, it's an organisation that's going to last, and it's an organisation that's going to have an impact. And 12 years later, I'm still here. I've done many documentaries separately as an independent producer, not for a television show or anything. I've done it for the organisation to help them to get funding, donor funding. So we use my documentaries to promote the library and what the work they're doing outside of our country, so that the organisation can continue to get donor support from outside of our country to continue these libraries. The organisation has expanded across Papua New Guinea. I've been to libraries in Tari, I've been to libraries in Enga, they've in Lay. So when I first started, it was just Port Moresby. So that's why I came here this morning, because in my I came to read books to the children. I came to meet the parents and to basically, give them some looks of it for their smart decision to recognise the importance of early childhood. Obviously, I'm campaigning, so I'm hoping that people can recognise the value that I will bring as a candidate to come here. But really, Book on PNG, in my work since returning home to Papua New Guinea in 2015, I've done quite a bit of work for the Enga provincial government in development there. And now Enga has Book on PNG. The provincial government has taken the initiative to bring books into Enga. They're not looking for outside contributions. Now that's something that every member can do. That's something that every member should be doing. This organisation should not be going around and approaching organisations outside of our country to get funding to do this. This is something that is the responsibility of all of our members. So it's absolutely a goal of mine, when people of Moresby North East elect me to represent them, to fight for this kind of thing in as many parts of North East as we can possibly get. It's critical in North East because North East has the highest number of settlements in our country. It's the settlement capital of Papua New Guinea. How do we break that cycle? How do we lift these children out of the same cycle? Are they going to end up being wire sellers too? Are they going to end up working for minimum wage too? This is why Book on PNG is critical. And this is, we don't need to reinvent the wheel. The model is here, the organisation is here, the results are here. It's easy, it's just get behind and support. I fail to understand how it hasn't happened already. I fail to understand why our successive leaders have not recognised this. I fail to understand, I've given up understanding, which is why I am contesting, so that I can just get in there and not have to explain it to anybody, just push it through, get it done, get it done. This is critical. This is the key to breaking the cycle of poverty that these young people are in. For those of you who came at the beginning, you saw not only children who can easily recognise words. When they go into elementary, they're already reading. They already know how to write their name. They already know the days of the week. They already know how to count. It's amazing. They put, this organisation, but also, sorry, I just wanted to say, their behaviour. So this library also teaches virtues and cleanliness, those kinds of things. So you see the children here are really well behaved. They know how to listen to the teacher. They know how to be quiet when they're asked to. Unlike many other schools, which we have all been to, where it's just impossible to control masses of children. So these are the things, the benefits of this library. So that's basically why I came here, mainly to read stories to the kids. Yeah. Anything else?
Well,
yes.
As a female candidate
Yes.
running for the Moresby Northeast
Yes.
open seat, what's your intentions going for the elections?
Well, obviously we need a better Northeast. Obviously Northeast, along with many other parts of our country, have been neglected for decades. Decades and decades and decades it's been neglected. Most of the issues and challenges facing the people living here are obvious. You don't need to be smart to know that people need water. You don't need to be smart to know that people need power. You don't need to be smart to know that our minimum wage is not enough to live in a capital city like this, which is actually one of the most expensive cities in the world to live. You don't need to be smart to know this. So the only conclusion I can come to in terms of why these things haven't been done before is you haven't elected leaders that have the political will to do it. You haven't elected the right people. It's not brain surgery. It's not rocket science. It's blatantly obvious what needs to be done. What you need is leaders that understand the processes, that actually genuinely care. They're not in it for self-gain. There's a lot of self-gain that goes on. There's a lot of individual wealth and benefit that is gained when successive leaders have come in. And that's not what a leader should be. A leader is not supposed to go, a politician is not supposed to go in to increase their personal wealth. A politician is not supposed to go in to, be lifted up on the shoulders of people and to be lauded, and like some big name. A politician is actually there to work. It's hard work. It's going to be hard work. I'm under no illusions that it's going to be hard work. It's one of the reasons why it's taken me a while to actually get to this point. 2017 I was approached and I just went, not ready yet. I'd only just been back home for 2 years and I felt like I needed to feel it more, be home more, understand really, talk to people more, listen more. Listening is so critical to this. But I know it's hard work. There's no shortcuts either. You cannot go around making sweet promises to people because you're just going to continue to let them down. So, all I can do is that. My promises are to work really hard, 24/7 work hard. I don't believe it'll be difficult to bring the basic services here that the district desperately needs. I don't believe that'll be difficult at all. I will fight with all of my might to make sure that every human being has the basic dignity of being able to get up and have a shower in the morning so they can start their day with a sense of pride. These are not big, infrastructure and all the big things that we talk about, big expensive things. This is human development. We need to develop human beings. So sitting across the road from some infrastructure on the other side there, the 6 Mile Market, it's a building. Where's the human development? Develop the people so that they can go in and actually use the building. A classroom. What's the point of a classroom if you don't have qualified teachers in there? What's the point of a classroom if there's only one teacher teaching 90 kids? What kind of standard of education are we giving them? So we need to focus on building the capacity of the human beings. And that begins with educating our littlest. That begins with targeting our most vulnerable. And that begins... Sorry, these children are distracting me. Just want to play with them. That begins with targeting our most vulnerable. As they say, a chain is only as strong as its weakest link. So here is our weakest link. These people here that live in the settlements, that's the weakest link. If we want this country to grow, we fix the weakest links in the chain so the country can grow and progress. As a woman, I have to remind people, we have 0 women in Parliament, but studies around the world consistently show that when you elect women in Parliament, the corruption index falls and the development index rises. This is consistent studies in multiple countries around the world. You go Google it, look it up. It's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. But I'm not standing just as a woman candidate. I'm standing as a human being who cares about people, who genuinely cares. I have options. I don't have to be here. But I was raised in a family that put their heart and soul into developing this country and at the level of our founding fathers and our founding mothers. And I believe it's my duty as a good daughter to build on the foundations that my parents built. And that's why I'm here. That's simply why I'm here. We can do better. We can do better. I know we can. And I have absolute faith that we can.